A few weeks ago, I went to the grocery store, and as I was checking out, a very handsome, tall, dark-skinned gentleman came up to us, me and the cashier that is, and said, "Hey, do you ladies know where I could find this chocolate? It's my wife's favorite." And so she said, "It's not in the aisles, it's here in the cashiers. Just go to each lane and you'll find a different flavor." So he went, and about 4 to 5 aisles down, he says, "Hey, I found it." And so he was excited. He started grabbing all these chocolates, 8, 9, 10 of them. But then all of a sudden he says, "Hey, did you guys know this thing was $6.99? The cashier starts to laugh and says, "Yeah, sir, your wife has very expensive taste." And now he is completely perplexed. He is scratching his head. He's pacing around. This very dark-skinned man is now very light-skinned, and I think this man is about to have a heart attack at this grocery store over this $6.99 chocolate. And so he shouts again. He says, "Have you guys ever even tried this thing? Is it even that good?" And so now I say, "I've never tried it before because it's $6.99 and I'm scared that I'll like it. And if I like it, my husband will find himself in the same predicament you find yourself in." Now we're all laughing. A few minutes go by and I said, "You know what? Don't buy that chocolate. It's $6.99. Go home and tell your wife, this is ridiculous. Don't ever tell me to buy $6.99 chocolate. Have you lost your mind?" So now he looks at me and he's shocked. He says, "You know what? I don't have to buy it. I want to buy it." And I said, "Well, why do you want to buy it?" And he says, "Because I love her." That's the answer I was trying to get. You see, in the Bible, there's a very similar story. It's a story that Jesus was invited to a huge feast. Simon had invited him. Simon was the one who he cured from leprosy, and in this feast there was also Lazarus. He was the one who Jesus raised from the dead. So you can imagine that this party was a big deal, and very important people from all over the town came to attend this party. But there is a woman who also wanted to attend, but for a very different reason. She wasn't concerned about who was going to be there, who wasn't going to be there. She just wanted to go on an errand for Jesus. And it says that this woman was Mary, and the Bible says that she was a great sinner. But at a personal sacrifice to herself, she bought very expensive oil. It was in an alabaster flask, and she made her way to Jesus very subtly. She did not want to cause any attention to herself. She just wanted to go demonstrate her love. And so as I can imagine Jesus sitting on a huge table, that she literally crawls under this table, makes her way to his feet, and she breaks open this flask, starts to pour it on his feet. There she's crying, thinking about all the things that Jesus did for her. She uses her hair and begins to wipe his feet. When all of a sudden these men start to smell this fragrance. It's a beautiful fragrance. It smells awesome, but they're thinking, who is putting on fragrance and perfume? We're all trying to eat here. I mean, come on. But then all of a sudden the men notice exactly what's going on. Judas is the first one who looks and says, "What a waste of money. Look at this woman. I could have sold this oil and I could have given this to the poor." Everyone's thinking that Judas is, "Oh, wow, what a beautiful thing Judas would have done." But Jesus knew his heart. He wasn't going to give it to the poor. He was going to pocket his money as he often had done in the past. And then Simon said, "This Jesus, he isn't a prophet. Because if he knew who this woman was and what type of woman she was, he wouldn't even let this woman touch him." It's amazing that all of a sudden, Simon forgot that he had leprosy, and the only one willing to touch him and cure him was Jesus. Sometimes it's like we forget too. Oh, if Jesus even knew this person or this sinner. It says that Jesus looked at Simon, and he said, "Simon, can I tell you a story?" And he said, "Sure." He says there was a money lender, and he had 2 debtors. One owed him 50, and one owed him about 500. But it says that the money lender forgave them both. Now my question to you, Simon, is who do you think would love most? Simon thought about it and he says, "Well, the one who had been forgiven most." Jesus said, "You've answered correctly." He says, "You see, Simon, when I came into your house, you didn't give me water for me to wash my feet. Yet this woman has cried, has put tears on my feet. Hey, Simon, when I came into your house, you didn't even kiss me. This woman has not stopped kissing my feet. Simon, when I came into your house, you did not anoint my head with oil, and this woman, she has put costly fragrance oil on my feet and has wiped it with her hair." And then he ends by saying this woman is forgiven. And everyone looks up and thinks, well, why? And the answer, because she has loved much. That is the answer. When I asked that husband, why are you willing to buy $6.99 chocolate for your wife? Because I love her. If I were to ask Mary, Mary, why did you buy this costly oil at personal sacrifice to yourself? She would have responded, because I love Jesus. And when Jesus died on the cross for you and for me, his response was, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. As Christians, as believers, what motivates us? The Bible says, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. The Bible says, if you do not love, you do not know God, because God is love. The Bible says, you know how people will know that you are my disciples? If you love one another the way I have loved you. Love is the answer. Love is the secret. So what motivates you?
Well,